channel, guys. Fasnacht is fast approaching and it is time to start doing some videos to go over exactly what Fasnacht is. This video will be a thorough walkthrough from every robot location to how to complete each task for each robot. We will even review the entire parade route and go over all 3 assault locations, including where enemies spawn, so that way you can earn that rare mask of your dreams. We will also go over all the possible rewards. If you've not had the pleasure of running Fasnacht, then this video is definitely for you. Like I said, I'll be taking you through the ins and outs of the event. Why you want to run this event is because you get these super rare Fasnacht masks. They even have some that's non-tradable. I'll do a video going over all the new rewards and all the old rewards, so that way you know what you're looking for, which ones are rare and which ones aren't. It's just a ton of stuff, so it will not fit into this video without this video being like 20 or 30 minutes long, and that's just unacceptable. So, let's get into exactly what Fasnacht is. So, Fasnacht is an actual event in real life, and I've actually been to it. It actually happens in the exact same town as depicted in this video game, and they do a fantastic job of actually depicting what this real life event is and what the real town actually looks like. So, my hats off to Bethesda for that. It's just fantastic. So, the whole point of this actual event in real life is to scare away or chase away Old Man Winter or Father Winter. I can't remember the exact terminology. I think it's Old Man Winter because we have an Old Man Winter mask. Anyway, some things obviously get changed around, so I'm not sure exactly which one it is in real life. But anyway, you're supposed to be chasing him off, so you wear these masks just like they do in real life, and then you're supposed to burn Old Man Winter at the end of it. So, yeah! Basically, there are robots here in the town that are still celebrating Fasnacht after all these years. Even though everybody's gone or most of the original people are gone, they're still programmed to celebrate like they always have. So that's why we are here. So let's get started in what this event is and when it happens. So it will be happening at the top of the hour. It will start February the 13th, which is next Tuesday, and run through February the 27th. Now, in real life, the event only happens for one day. It's not like this huge, long, drawn-out celebration. It's just a one-day type thing, and it actually does happen in the town of Helvetia. Fasnacht is very complicated. Alright, so what you need to know is at the top of the hour, every hour, starting on February 13th at noon. It should start at noon. Sometimes they don't start it till 1 o'clock. So just be aware of that. It has happened multiple times. I just don't want anybody to be like, well, I went there and it didn't happen. So just be aware it might not start till 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But it is Helvetia, like I said, and it is right here from Vault 76. Now, the event will start. You'll kind of spawn in back at this location is where I do believe you spawn in at for the event, although when you normally spawn in here, you'll spawn in back towards the back of Greg's mine supply. So I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, you'll spawn in here, and as you can see, this is the entire town. This is actually the post office, and this is where they do their celebration. It's supposed to be like a dance hall. Like in real life, they actually like sell tickets and donuts and the Fasnacht sausages and all that stuff there. And then down here on the left is the restaurant that's in real life, and then you got the honey house, the cheese house, and all that good stuff as well. So the parade route will actually start on this street here at the very top. When you spawn in at the top, you'll be running down Main Street, and you will be greeting a robot right around here that is called the Master of Ceremonies. So once you get here, depending on how you want to run the event, if you've never run it before, I would definitely say you need to wait for someone to start it. If you'd like tips on how to get the event done quickly, I'll be making a video on that as well, because it is important to know that you can skip servers and do this event more than one time. And considering the fact that there's these masks that you get are so rare, you want as many chances at getting one as possible, and you definitely want the best outcome. So I'll be going over all that as well in that video, so make sure to stay tuned for that one as well. But you'll greet the Master of Ceremonies. There are 8 robots that can appear, but only 5 of them will. Each one has a different task, and I'll be going over all of those as well. After you've greeted the master ceremonies, he will tell you that you then need to get some robots ready for the actual parade or march. And these robots will have tasks that you actually have to complete in order for them to get ready. Now the whole thing is timed, so I will be reviewing every task that the robots have, also their locations as well, and that will be for all 8, so that way you don't miss out on anything. So like I said, there are 8 Protectrons that can spawn, but only 5 will, and you will need to complete all 5 tasks in order to actually get this thing started. The 8 robots are, and I will butcher the names of these, so bear with me, is the Cheerful Beekeeper, the Gleeful Butcher, the Happy Candlemaker, the Jolly Baker, the Convivial Librarian, the Merry Woodsman, Jubilant Decorator, and the Joyous Musician. I do believe that is all of them. Anyway, what you'll want to do is since this event is timed, you'll want to start at the furthest point, because this is the thing, is you have to actually complete the task, and then the robot has to march to the starting line, and these robots are super slow, and I mean they are super slow. So in order to get the event rolling, you really want to start off at one of the back end events or back end robots to actually get things started, because it takes so long for them to get there. You don't want time to run out because you've completed all the other ones and that one's, you know, still standing. Hopefully there'll be plenty of people here and they will also help out, but until you get the whole route down and actually what you're supposed to be doing, it can feel like you're just running around like a chicken with your head cut off. So hopefully this video will help out. One thing that you will see right away when you start doing this event for a couple different times, you'll notice that there are players that never move. This is called AFKing, and that means that they're away from their keyboard. I had to look up what that meant when I first started playing games because I had no idea what that meant, so I'm going to tell you so you don't have to look it up. Anyway, what they'll do is they will be hiding underneath the world and spinning in corners and doing all sorts of crazy stuff, and let me explain why. These masks are super rare, and I mean they are super rare, and people don't have time to grind it out like they want to if they want a mask. If you have AFKers, there's one place where if you're going to AFK, you should do it at, because then that way you're at least helping people. So without saying any more, one of the furthest possible places or robots to start at is the Joyous Musician. So the Joyous Musician will actually be down here on the stage, and like you can see here, there's already a bunch of instruments here. The Joyous Musician will be standing here. You'll talk to him and that will get this started. The task that you have to do for him is play music for so long. You'll have a bar just like you do in One Violent Night, and it will need to fill. Well, if you have AFKers and they're AFK over here on these instruments, as soon as you activate this robot, it will start. And I mean, like, it will start doing it all at once, and then you won't have to do anything. So this is the place I always come and check first, because 1, it's the furthest point away. 2, I might not have to do anything. Now, will it be like this every time? Probably not. And you will be hopeful that it's not like this every time, trust me. But if you're going to AFK, you need to be on these instruments. The next place you want to go to is the cook, and he will be over here in the restaurant, of course. So he will be back here in the kitchen, and he'll be standing right here. He'll have this huge pot, and he needs eggs. So you will have to go outside and kill some radtoads, and their eggs will be out here. So anyway, the eggs will be like in this area, and then there'll be some underneath here and around the side. You have to collect, I think, 20 eggs, if I'm not mistaken, and you'll just need to get back up and then go deposit them into his pot, and then he will start. Well, got a crasher here, a party crasher. Anyway, he will then start walking for you. There will be a robot in the honey house here, and you will need to actually complete one of their tasks. If they are here, you will need to kill honeybeasts. Yes, honeybeast. So this one actually can take the longest, because sometimes it seems like it's a little bugged out and the honeybeasts don't spawn in, or they spawn in really far away, or they spawn in one at a time. But anyway, you will want to go ahead and activate this one. Do not stand around waiting for the honeybeasts unless everything else is done, because you're just wasting time. So basically, when they do start spawning in, they're supposed to come towards this area, but they go everywhere. They'll be over here. They'll be way up behind the cheese house, behind right back here, this little like school or book store type place, they will be all over the place. So basically just make sure that you're looking out for them, because they normally have like a little diamond above them, so that way you can find them. So if you happen to see a diamond kind of like darting around and it looks like it's moving, that's your honeybees. Go after it and kill it as fast as possible. After you've run the event a couple times, if you notice that the bees are not spawning in like they're supposed to and they're taking forever, you might want to check this location first and just activate this robot at the very beginning, so that way it can kind of be spawning in and waiting. It's just a suggestion. Like I said, you guys play however you want, but it is a suggestion. After these 3 locations, checking these 3 locations, you pretty much can go and do any of the other tasks that you want to. In my opinion, from here, there is a butcher that actually spawns into the house right here, that is like right here beside the cheese house, and there will be a butcher in here. Now you'll run in and activate the butcher. He's normally kind of standing right around in here somewhere, and you'll notice this big table with a bloody looking cooler, and you will need to fill that with meat or intestines. And guess what? If you're a carnivore, this event is perfect for you, because there will be possums and rabbits and squirrels galore. So there's tasty squirrel stew to be had, and you get to keep the squirrel meat. You just need to get the intestines. So they will just keep on respawning here, and you just will need to keep them. And thank God we have loot all. So if you're on a team and other people are actually doing this, you actually will get more intestines from them as well, because they've actually killed some too. And you just need to run back and fill up the intestines into that bloody cooler. From here, there is also a robot in this shack up here, and he is like the Civil War reenactor type person. Anyway, what you'll need to do is you will have to go and get beer steins. Now there's a couple that actually spawn in here, so you might want to look there, but they'll be everywhere. Like they'll be on this bench out here, they'll be on the railings, they'll be laying in the street, they'll be sitting here on this post. So you got to collect, I think there's 10 of them. These things do weigh a ton, and if you have Fallout First, you might end up scrapping them at the end. So just be aware of that. Anyway, to move on, once you do that, he'll also start marching, and here you'll actually have to decorate. So there'll be a robot standing right around in here, and there'll be 4 boxes that you will need to activate, and you will have to choose the decorations for each one. And as you choose, the decorations will normally start appearing and popping up. Now you can do these in any order. They sometimes get a little glitchy, and it's kind of hard to actually get it to activate, so just kind of stand over the box and keep moving, and eventually you'll see where you need to actually activate it and do the decorating. Once you've done those 4 decorations, you are completed. There's also going to be one that is in here, and I do believe this is the Candlemaker. He'll have like candles actually on his head, and he wants beeswax. You will need to collect beeswax from the honey house. So if you come over here to check for this robot, I would suggest when you run in that you get the beeswax that he needs. So the honey will be kind of like dripping down on the side and over here and open, and there will be some in here as well and on top of here, and I do believe there'll be some behind here as well. Like on this guy right here, there'll be some honey, so you can just run in. If you need the key for this door for the honey house, it is literally right here under this flower pot. It says honey house key. Anyway, so that way you can actually look for your beeswax. You shouldn't need to do that, but then once you do that, you will have to run back and actually fill that up. And then you actually need to go over here and check and see if the woodsman is here. He will be standing next to the big bonfire for Old Man Winter, and he will need wood of all things. So you'll need to collect 50 wood, and there is wood sitting all over the place out here. It's always here, but you will just need to collect wood and bring it back. Here is wood behind this shed right here. There is more wood down here. There's even more wood at the honey house here. Some on the inside of the cheese house. There. And here. And some on the side of the cheese house. After you have completed all the tasks, you will be waiting for those robots to actually march up here. And then once they get up here, the master of ceremony will leisurely stroll up the street here. He's one of the floating, like, Mr. Handy robots. Anyway, he'll stroll up the street here, and he will tell them that it's time to march, and they will actually equip Fasnacht mask, which is just adorable. Anyway, your whole point of this is to march with them. You are supposed to protect them. Now, this is a big deal. You may think, well, it's not like all the other things where you just need to keep one person alive, or you can, I don't know the best way to say this, but it's not like every other event where, like, you could just need to leave one robot alive. Leaving one robot alive will allow you to complete the event, but you will not, and I mean you will not, get a rare reward. Then the whole point of running this event is to get the rare rewards or have a chance to. Now, everything else you get from this event is just a bonus. I'll go over all that as well at the end, but you definitely want to make sure that you're trying to keep all 5 robots alive, because if just one of them dies, that means that you will not get that rare reward. So you will be marching with them, and most people just run away because you will march down the street. And once they get to about this part right here, like the master ceremonies will kind of stop right here, you'll notice that the robots stop. The music that is haunting to most players will also stop, and then radtoads will actually start attacking. They'll start coming up from this way over there. They'll pop up down there in the creek bed. They'll also pop up down the street behind this house, and also down over here as well. So you just kind of have to watch out. They'll be coming from every angle except for the back. Unless there's one that kind of hops up and over. It doesn't happen very often. Most of the time people kill it. But anyway, just be aware of that. Then they will start marching back up. They'll head straight across here, and they will just hang a left. And they will stop right around here where you put your head through and take a picture. This is actually there in real life as well. Anyway, from here, they'll stop again, and super mutants will spawn in, and there are a ton of suiciders that will be running towards the robots, trying to blow them up, along with all the other super mutants with lots and lots of weapons, trying to shoot them down. Now, this is normally where most of the robots end up dying, because they literally just get blown up, and there's not a whole lot people can do once it happens, because it seems like they just keel over, and you're like, oh my god. So the best thing for you to do is to be on the lookout. Best thing for you to do is to have a weapon that you can actually use at a long distance and kill these guys before they spawn in and start running towards the robots. Now, they can spawn literally everywhere. They can spawn inside the house, like shutting the doors sometimes helps, but not completely. They can spawn back here. They can also spawn back behind this house right here. They can spawn behind this one. They will spawn all the way up and around here, behind here, up in the woods, and behind the trees up here, and they'll be running in. There's also a couple that can spawn behind you, and they'll spawn in right over here, and then right over here normally, or the big locations where they will spawn in. I do believe they can spawn in here, but I've not seen it but a couple times. So anyway, these are the locations you need to be on the lookout for. And once your robots survive this attack, they will then march down further and kind of go back to where they started. They'll run straight down through here, and they will start going towards Old Man Winter, who needs to be burned because you collected all that wood. Anyway, you'll march right down here. The music will then again stop, and there will be an onslaught of enemies. There will be wolves and stingwings, and people don't think that they can do a lot of damage, but there's a bunch of them, and people fail to actually kill them because they're too busy looking for the final boss. The final boss is always a mega sloth. He's normally a 1-star, I do believe. And anyway, there are a couple locations that he can spawn at, and I'm going to go over all those. He will, of course, now drop a 1-star legendary item. So that is one of the bonuses for running the event. The one place he spawns in the most is behind this tree. He will be glowing when he spawns in, so you will see him, but this isn't the only location that he spawns in, and people do not realize that, and so they're too busy looking over here and waiting for him to spawn in, and then the robots die. So just be careful. He can also spawn in here, like right behind this tree. I have seen him spawn in over here, but I think he was glitched out because he's supposed to be behind that tree. The other location is right here. This is the one where people usually miss. He can spawn in right here behind this little shack, or he can actually spawn in right over here. Now, This location seems to be the less popular spawn for whatever reason. I saw him spawn in more here last year than I did any other time that I've run this event, and I've run it. I don't even want to tell you how many times I've run this event or how many years. It's just shameful. Anyway, you will have to kill them, and then once you kill them and all the stingwings and wolves that are running full sprint at your robots that are staying here, this guy up here, the Master of Ceremonies, will be standing right around here, and he'll be standing in front of Old Man Winter, which is a huge pile of, I don't know, it's a pile of sticks, and it's got his mask on top, and you need to burn him to chase him away. Anyway, they'll say burn him, burn him, burn him, and then shortly after that, it will actually be a command for you to light the fire. You will have to approach all the way into the fire and just kind of walk around till it says light, and then you'll have to push A. Using your flamethrower will not light it. Throwing grenades will not light it. There's people every year that do this. It will not light it. There's always somebody else that is smart enough to walk up and actually just do it so that way it lights. Otherwise, it's just a coincidence that it lit up, because that's the only way to light it. I have no idea. I've seen level thousands come up here and just stand and use their flamethrower thinking that they're lighting it, and then I have to run up and push A to light it for them. Anyway, that will not do it. So make sure that you're running up to it and actually pushing the A button or whatever it is on your platform and lighting that fire. Now, that will be the end of the event, and then you'll probably stand here like most of us do and wait to see if you've actually gotten a rare reward. Now, if you have completed the event with all 5 robots alive, you will get a chance, a very small chance, to get a rare mask. So your reward is always going to be based on how many robots are alive at the end of the event, and that's specifically for the mask, but let's go over what you actually get. So as long as the event doesn't fail, which it does from time to time fail because all the robots die, or somebody nukes it because, well, people like to rain on your parade, that's just what they do. Anyway, if somebody nukes it, sometimes it fails that way because people die and you can't withstand a nuke zone, and so then they get, attacked or whatever, because the robots, from my understanding, are not supposed to die from the nuke. Like, if they get nuked during the event, just the players will, because there's no way for you to survive at the event if you're nuked during the event. So just be aware of that. Definitely watch my short about how to figure out if you're in the nuke zone without having to go in and check the map, because sometimes the map is slow to show you where it's at, and you only have 2 minutes to get out. So if you want to fast travel away and come back, you can try, but I would just suggest that you skip worlds and go somewhere else, because more than likely the robots will have been attacked at that point while you've been gone, and they will be dead anyway. As long as the event doesn't fail, you will be getting a 3-star legendary. You're supposed to get 2 treasury notes. Depending on how many robots are still standing, you can get anywhere from 1 to 3 legendary cores. Just because you have 5 robots that are alive does not mean you'll get 3 legendary cores. You can still get 1. It's just a higher chance of getting more. You'll always receive a plan, and there are 3 types of masks that you need to be aware of. There are common, uncommon, and rare. And the rare ones are the ones that most people are after, and like I said, you have to have 5 robots alive to receive an uncommon. You need to have 3 to 4 robots alive, and a common mask is 1 to 2 robots. So you will always get a mask as long as the event isn't failed, which is great, but you will have 1,000 masks. You do need to know that there are a couple plans that are actually locked to your character, so that means you can't trade them. So it's important for you to learn them right away, so that way it doesn't drop anymore. If you forget to do this, you will have like 1,000 of these by the end of the day, and you will wonder, why do I waste so much? And it will more than likely either be beeswax, beer steins, or a ton of these plans that you have because you have failed to actually learn it the first time. So make sure that you're learning your plans as you go. It will also help because there are a ton of plans, and I mean there are a ton of plans. There's all these different decorations and everything else, so it's very important that you go ahead and learn them, in my opinion, so that way you will figure out which ones you have and which ones are duplicates, because you will be getting duplicates, but the ones that are character locked you definitely need to learn, and those are the beer stein display and the beer steins themselves. Now there's a new beer stein that I'm aware of that's a reward. I am not sure if that's character locked or not. When I go over the rewards in the video, I will definitely have found out by that point. So make sure to subscribe and like so that way you don't miss out on that video. Well, that will be it. That is the entire event in a nutshell. Hopefully this has helped you to prepare for this event so that way when you run into the town you won't be standing around wondering what's going on or watching all these other players run around you and try to complete the event and you're like, I have no idea where I'm supposed to go or where I'm supposed to be or what I'm supposed to be doing, because they will have it done very quickly. I love you guys. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. I'd like to take a moment to thank all my channel members, the Deathclaws. Without you, none of this would be possible. So I appreciate and love each and every one of you. Thank you again so much, and I will see you guys in the wasteland. I'd like to take a moment to welcome my newest Deathclaw, the glowing Deathclaw Beach guest. Thank you so much for becoming a Deathclaw, and I love you guys.